So right now, what by-elections and the result for by-elections will serve us, they'll serve and shape the political mood of the country from now on towards 2027.
Okay.
If the opposition wins, then William Ruto should take it and swallow the bitter pill that one term is indeed
it's a real thing.
Moment. If the government wins, and the broad-based government wins, that means ODM and the government wins, then it sends a message to opposition.
It's true.
You're doing nothing. You have nothing on the ground.
Yeah.
And one thing that I find interesting is that's it for Mbeere North. We have 7 by-elections taking place, 6 for parliamentary, 1 for MCA. One that I find very interesting is that for Mbeere North, it has become a battle between kings, It's a battle between Kindiki, Kithure, and Rigathi Gachagua towards who is indeed the Mount Kenya kingpin. And that is the reality on the ground. Kindiki wants to flex muscles and show Gachagua, man, I'm the government. I'm the DP. Yeah. You are given a chance, you lost it. I'm now the de facto DP.
Yeah.
Let me show you how votes are garnered. But on the other hand, Riggy G is very cunning.
Yeah.
Him being a political scientist, he's been able to go door to door, utilize that strategy.
Yeah.
And he has been able to get traction within Mbeere North.
We'll talk about that strategy in just a bit. But Sankara, you've heard what Kiragwa said.
Yes.
That this is pretty much do or die for either side. The opposition, ama Gava, the broad-based. It's going to reflect whatever's going to happen in 2027.
Sure.
Now, we also saw members of the opposition crying foul, especially, in Mbeere North. Walikuwa say, my government is spending so much money. This is not a fair game. Do you think also that's going to be a reflection of what's going to happen in 2027? Will government now use these tactics, to try and get votes from Kenyans, spend money, allegedly?
Kenya is going through a fierce by-election, or is going to experience one of the most fierce by-elections in the history of the country. We are having an election, a might contest between an ambitious boss and a bitter ex. I mean, the ex is there to prove a point. I was not the problem. You are the problem. And then the boss is here trying to tell you that, I still got the opportunity and the muscles to even expand my kingdom.
Yeah.
So it is a battle between William Ruto and the opposition. The opposition is trying to show William Ruto that we have the numbers. Kenyans are tired with you. Whereas William Ruto is also there to try and tell the opposition, I'm still the king and calling shots. In a nutshell, this may seek to worsen the political situation in the country, because at the end of the day, when money is poured, integrity, ability are all washed in the crowds of, the psych, who speaks the loudest. So, in the long run, we are going to fail to elect leaders and elect choir masters. And that's why if we elect an MP today who has gone through Gachagua, even a good bill in the house that should be being pushed by the government, but will help the people of Mbeere North, the MP will reject, not because he is rejecting on a personal conscience-based perspective, but because Gachagua is against the government. So in all this game, we are the losers as the people of Kenya. We are, in Swahili they say, tembo wawili, wakimenyana, nyasi umia. In this game, we are the grass. They are going to step on us. Whether William loses or Gachagua wins, the people of Kenya shall lose, because those who are going to be elected are not going to serve the interest of the people of Kenya. They are going to serve the interest of the masters, those who gave them money. And it's also a very dangerous precedent for the young people looking forward to contesting in 2027, because once you monetize politics Ideals are swept under the carpet.
But that's the nature of politics.
You don't
in the
come
country.
here to tell people that I got this, I was telling somebody that today, if you were to do a campaign in Nairobi CBD, for an example, you, between me and you, Kiragu and myself, Kiragu definitely may arrived in some Pro Box. I'm not saying you drive a Pro Box. But then I come in, he went there in the morning, he has talked to the people how he's going to tarmac, he's going to change the drainage system and all those sorts, kanjo and public relations. Then I walk in, last minute I tell the people, I have been here, I am going somewhere, but I arrive in a Land Cruiser, 2025. I arrive with words of cash. I tell them just a line, I will see you, but I will come back. Let me tell you, the same people of Kenya will vote for me because of my Prado and my cash, and not because of his ideals. So it is something that we need to question as the people of Kenya. Where do we really want to go as a country? Are we going to elect money over people and cry for services? Or,
Kiragu, let me ask
choose what you want.
I like what you said, but at the end of the day, when you look at the nature of politics, especially in these by-elections, is it safe to say this is basically an opportunity for the opposition to learn some of the strategies being employed by Gava in order to win an election? Instead of complaining about money is being spent, they should just learn and be prepared, because this is going to be the nature of the elections, or should I say campaigns, come 2027. So they should just be prepared. Is that what we're saying?
Let me start off with this. These people have been there. Rigathi Gachagua.
Exactly. They know the game.
Know the game. I don't know why they are complaining that money has been there. you could actually have seen what Gachagua was doing in 2022. He was the one pouring the money.
Wow.
I think it's double speak to speak that, you say money is being poured. Ask yourself, you're also pouring money.
Yeah. Wow, that's a good
These
point.
guys have set a very bad precedence, and I'm glad that we have a very active citizenry at the moment. Especially that now you've gone digital. We have people who civic educators who can educate our young people and our people online, tell them and fact check about statements made by these leaders on the ground. Because these are the people who have set the bad precedence of money, politics. They give out handouts back
Mr. Moneybags.
If you're a candidate right now, if you are a candidate here in Nairobi, you're not even viewed as Kev anymore. You're viewed as a bag of money.
Uko na ngapi? Let me ask you something real quick, Kennedy. Bouncing off what Kiragu just said, generally speaking, are we saying the nature of politics in this country is such that it's only the rich, most of the time, who are going to make it to Parliament, the Senate, or even County Assembly because they have money to spend? Is that what we're saying?
Absolutely. That's what's happening. Because the same rich are being enabled by the poor. Those who are crying about poor service delivery. You go to an election day, then you ask yourself, do Kenyans remove their brains and leave them at home? They go queue vote, then they think, I ought to have. Today, the very, very people who voted in this government are crying the loudest, including the bitter ex, Rigathi Gachagua. He's talking about William Ruto as if he just landed from Mars yesterday and heard William Ruto was the president. He forgets that he's the same man who campaigned with him. Whatever he's going through today, I may not feel sorry for him. Gachagua is just enjoying a cake of his own making.
So what about the youth who genuinely are here to change the nature of our politics in terms of the narrative, in terms of bringing about actual changes to our system and conversations? What about those guys? And yet they don't have money to spend.
And that pushes us to the real conversation about economic empowerment. You see, this dramatic affair government has been walking left, right, and center saying we are empowering people. To an extent that we did the mathematics sometime back and found out they were empowering people with 60 shillings. What can 60 shillings buy? So I do say, a hungry person is unable to make a rational decision where money is poured. It is logical. I'm not a pastor and I'm not preaching about heaven. I will speak.
You're being real.
I'm being real. I am going to sleep angry tonight. Then you bring 500 shillings or 1,000 to me today. am I going to save the future that I'm not seeing, or I'm going to fight
save your stomach?
No, it's stomach first. So if the government is careful about breeding a culture of good governance, then they should ensure first that the youths are well sorted. Today, let me tell you, Kev, when we speak about anger, it is felt amongst the young people. Today, people are walking and their pockets are empty. When they scratch, they almost scratch their balls. For men, there is no cash, so we need money in our pockets. When I worked with Musalia Mudavadi, Musalia promised people that uchumi bora, pesa mfukoni. Today is the big boss in this government.
So I want to ask you something. Let's move, because he
doesn't even know that Kenyans are suffering. He speaks like a queen from England.
We're running out of time. I want you to address the point Kiragu made when we started the conversation about, of course, the by-elections.
Yes.
He talked about whatever is going to happen, for example, in Mbeere North, Mount Kenya East.
Yes.
Will technically tell us who is the king. The king of the mountain.
Definitely.
Now, for me, my perspective is this. First of all, I get the impression that Gachagua is not really big when it comes to Mount Kenya East. He's mostly big when it comes to the western side of the mountain.
He's just loud.
Yeah, but I also think you're funny. But I also think I don't think Kindiki is ever going to be the king of the mountain. I don't think it's ever. I think the king right now is Uhuru Kenyatta. But I want you to respond to whatever Kiragu said.
Yes.
Is it true that if Mbeere North, if Kindiki delivers Mbeere North, until now he's I'm not saying that's what you said, but does it technically mean that he's pretty much going to be the most influential leader come 2027 when it comes to
I don't come from Mount Kenya, but I can tell you, Kindiki is not influential. And let me tell you, Mount Kenya is bigger than Mbeere North. Mbeere North is just a fraction, whereas that is the litmus test.
It's true.
The same people thinking on the other side, I mean, the thinking is different.
So who's
the king of Mount Kenya? When you want to speak about a kingpin, you look at a lot of things. We can't call, the Beta X the kingpin. The Beta X just served as a one-term MP, a quarter-minute DP, and now he's a Beta opposition.
What? You guys, he's controlling the ground.
He's ground. Which ground? Which ground?
What?
Wait and see.
You will see how DCP will perform.
Well, DCP might win in Mbeere North. But remember, William Ruto is this cunning president. When he got to power, he first ensured that he splitted Mount Kenya into a governable sub-kingdoms.
It's true.
He went to Kiambu and placed a kingpin. He went to Meru and placed a kingpin. So, Gachagua will still find it rough, knowing better that he's the one who brought in William Ruto. The man is demonizing today. I can tell you, we Kenyans, we rarely forget fast of this late. We used to, but currently we don't forget fast. We actually put you where you belong. You brought it. This is a virus you co-created in the lab. You gotta take drugs, antivirus for it. You're not going to push it to the people.
Let me ask you something. You're from the mountain, technically.
Yes.
Who do you think is for real the kingpin of the mountain? Because I think it's Uhuru Kenyatta, bro.
For me, I'll tell you straight up. The mountain at the moment, it's a ramshackle house,
Yeah, for real?
Because we got everyone saying that they are the kingpins. We got these party leaders from TSP, from DP party. We got also Jimmy Wanjigi also. We got Martha Karua. We got all this, an array of leaders trying to identify with the people being the kingpin of that region. Let me tell you, the de facto leader of Mount Kenya region remains the former president Uhuru Kenyatta.
I agree, bro. I agree.
Because that position was earned through the vote, elected 2 times by the mountain, overwhelmingly. So he remains the de facto president, the de facto kingpin of Mount Kenya. And if anyone feels like, I really want to take over the baton from Uhuru Kenyatta, why then not look for Uhuru Kenyatta and work with him? That symbolic handshake, that support from Uhuru Kenyatta himself, like, I really need this leader to work for us.
So the other day we also saw Uhuru Kenyatta talking about how nobody should abuse Rigathi Gachagua. If you dare abuse him, utoke kwa party, utoke Jubilee. That being said, obviously, Rigathi Gachagua is he's got massive influence in the mountain in general. Kindiki is also big when it comes to Mount Kenya East. So who do you think is going to carry the day in Mbeere North?
I think Mbeere North, Rigathi Gachagua, being
because of the current situations would favor him.
There's a lot of euphoria. And I think DCP and the united position, and also the unity of the united opposition, they have been able to identify, we need this carries under this Democratic Party of Kenya and under the united opposition flag to be the flag bearer of the united opposition. So I'll give it to them. Their unity, their strategy in looking for votes, and the third thing, euphoria. I mean, it happens. People will look at you and tell you, you are fired from office. I think we should follow you and actually give you some support. So that is what is going to give the candidate of the opposition a better chance to win for the Mbeere North seat come Thursday.
Sawa. Now, switching some gears, folks. Last week on Thursday, during the State of the Nation address, the president talked about transforming Kenya. He said he wants Kenya to be the Singapore of Africa. That's going to cost us about 5.4 trillion, according to the president and the figures that he gave us. Now, we know the situation on the ground. But based on everything, because, he sounded very rosy in that State of the Nation address, gave us a lot of hope. How would you describe, Kennedy, how would you describe the state of the nation in the country, in the trajectory we're headed towards?
A progressive nation. Even in the old, when I was a student in high school, we used to read about the traditional African kingdoms. And the strength of a kingdom was measured on its ability to feed its people. As we speak today, I have just told you this, a reality out there. Kenyans are angry. When the president speaks about Singapore, linking Kenya to Singapore, I don't know if he's talking about Singaporean buildings or he's speaking about Singaporean economics, Singaporean culture. Because the culture in Singapore, if it's something to go by today, we would have the president in prison today. To me, he cannot implement the Singaporean principles that he's speaking about. I want to remind the president that it is good to dream. However, some dreams are wet dreams. You cannot dream about putting Singapore in place when we still politicize service delivery. I am speaking as an orphan who lost his father through unpredictable public health services. It's not about somebody who can afford private health. The health should be affordable to the public. We are speaking about shisha, which is like a smoke in a pub. Nobody knows how it's working perfectly. We want a working, when we align things, we can achieve Singapore. Because when Singapore got its independence, we were just together. How did they overtake us? That's a question that the president should first answer. I believe we can get to Singapore, not through buildings. We can get to Singapore when, somebody given the mandate feels that they are not there to serve individuals, but they are there to serve the people of Kenya and the Constitution of Kenya. So we cannot speak about Singaporean economics when we're still speaking about billions of money, taxpayers' money being lost, women still dying because ambulance cannot even get to the hospital. Roads are looking like the Nairobi city's governor's dimples. All over potholes. We must speak about things that we can do. At least look at Nairobi today. Even when you're speaking, people are speaking of expanding which road to where. The city life in itself is hectic to the dwellers of Nairobi. And Nairobi sets the pace. Ukichoka town, mashinani hata wameisha. So we need to make life bearable for city bearers. And then we are going to get to Singapore. But we're only going to get to Singapore when those who have been called off, go steal whatever you want to steal, but avoid public money. Public money is a culminated sweat of young, old, sick, and then you are stealing this money. Somebody is stealing COVID funds. Today we are going to pay COVID funds that were never actually, consignment that was never delivered to the country. As we speak today, we're having people who can do anything and get away with it. I know we can get to Singapore, but only if we change the mentality. This is not a rallying call to the ruling elite. This is a rallying call to the people of Kenya. Those who make votes. Stupid people cannot be fixed. but they can only be voted out. So the power solely belongs to the people of Kenya.
I love it.
Let them choose what they want.
Yeah.
There is no miracle. Jesus is not coming tomorrow to save them. It's either you wake up, take register as a voter, call your leaders to accountability.
Yeah.
I mean, demand questions. Don't rush to Mheshimiwa. What are you Mheshimiwaing about them? What are you questioning about them? I mean, people should get serious. As a country, at times I may not blame the political elites alone.
Yeah.
In Kijaluo, there is a saying, Chaogwang Tichagweno. I mean, you blame both sides. You don't blame one side because for how do you call them? Whatever to pick the chicken or the ends, chicks, it is the laziness of the chick who has failed to protect
let me head into Kiragu real quick. 2 final questions, guys. We saw the parliamentarians chanting 2-term after the State of the Nation address in Parliament, and Kenyans, especially young guys. Me, I was watching these things, and the conversations on social media from the younger Kenyans, they were so pissed. Yes. They were so pissed, and they were saying, apathy to complicate to clearly, we, as an electorate, we can never rely upon Parliament to have our backs when we need them the most. Do you feel, based on what we saw, happen in Parliament, do you think it's actually true that the electorate, at this point, the fate is on their own hands?
I mean, I'd say Kenya's democracy is at a test right now. It is at a risk. We are seeing erosion of civic trust. We are seeing there's a kind of detachment between the leaders and the electorate. People no longer have trust with the leaders and the institutions that are there in this country. To begin with, when I saw that video of leaders in the National Assembly chanting 2-term to a president during a State of the Nation address, one thing that I saw play in hand was personality politics. Politics that have been played for long. And I tell you, Kenyan leaders are so good at personality politics that they use it as a spanner, to tighten their presence in a political culture that is already fueled with what you talked about, ethnic ties. It's so bad in Kenya. So what we need right now, we need a new equilibrium, and we need a paradigm shift from politics of personality, politics of identity, to politics of substance and politics of ideologies. Looking forward to 2027, we have young people coming out, speaking up. We have civil society groups coming out to help young Kenyans and to help also to do political awareness and civic education. We have ourselves as young people. We understand we are an array of group of people, educated and educated, but we all belong to that category of young people. So what we need to do towards 2027 is that we need to talk about change, what we really want and what we really envision to happen in 2027. We want good leadership, we want zero corruption, we want economic prosperity, because it's such an irony for a president to stand up in the National Assembly and speak and compare the Kenyan economy to the Asian tigers. We are way behind and way below. I think also we should be removed from the bracket of a developing country. I think we are no longer developing. But
the president actually said last week that he gave reasons, for asking Kenyans for a second term, and he said he's laid the foundation for transformation to happen. The kazi ya one term, the first term. His first term was pretty much about laying the foundation. Yes. And if Kenyans vote him in, now the second term will be takeoff.
What is that?
You know what I mean? Is that a good point?
Those are not new words in the country.
Second, and then you respond.
The pain is here.
Yeah.
He's laying the foundation, yes.
Yeah.
He's talking about affordable housing.
Yes.
But where is he getting the money? He's talking about the Nyota Fund. We are borrowing extensively. If you look at Kenya's GDP, we operate at about 16 trillion, right? When you look at our borrowing, we are at 12 trillion. So if we borrowed 4 trillion today, then our borrowing and our GDP would be at par. Where are we going as a country? Our pay slips are way below. Unakatwa kitu, I mean, the housing thing, 16,000 in a single pay slip.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not making sense. It's not rewarding the citizens of Kenya.
Sankara, as we wrap up, he said, then his next term, if Kenyans vote him in, the foundation is being laid this term, his first term. Second term will now be towards, manifesting this whole Singapore situation.
I'm a politician, and the president was telling the people what they wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Not what they're supposed to hear. So he told them that I have laid the foundation. I mean, these kids, this generation of ours, we are so smart. You'll see content creators making skits of an MP coming, building, tarmacking a road, half a kilometer, then waiting for elections tomorrow, and they tell you, Crazy Ken has done this all over. Let me give him credit. If you elect me, I'm going to extend it. Yeah. That's the exact thing the president was trying to do. I mean, some of these things, if you have to take time to tell people what you've done, bro, you've done absolutely nothing. Wow. Because actions are louder than voice. They speak for themselves.
True,
in Swahili, they tell you, kizuri chajiuza, kibaya chajitembeza, mbona anatembeza kazi yake, aache kazi yake ijiuze. Let me tell you, it is sad, in that State of Nation address, I did not hear progressively the position of young people when it comes to production. We cannot solve job problem and employment by taking young people to offices. We can only employ them through a manufacturing economy. The same day Kenya will wake up and ban bananas from Tanzania, from Mama Suluhu, it's the same day our young people will no longer see agriculture as a dirty work, but as an agribusiness, a form of business that can actually lift you from those things the president called bottom up.
Yeah.
The same day the president will ban those eggs coming from those countries, it's the same day young people will venture into egg farming. Do you know cartels in this country will not allow you to sell your products, not because the market is actually sufficient, but because they want to make a kill out of it. In this our country, if the president wants to take us to Singapore, he should eliminate the cartel aspect. Business people, producers will tell you that their problem is not even the market, accessibility to the market. There are people who will ensure that your tomatoes from Nyandarua do not get to Nairobi market, not because they are not buyers, because they have imported tomatoes. Let us strengthen the rules on importation so that we empower local manufacturing. The moment we build our country based on a manufacture economy, I may not be an economic prophet, but I can tell you, people will find somewhere to fix themselves. We will be telling government, here is money and Pessah is your task. Come and take your taxes. Let us live. But the moment we want to take young people to be beggars, we follow politicians to get something to go and feed my family. Let us empower people. You cannot give people money, but you can make laws that favor people to make money and pay taxes.
I love it. Sankara, as we wrap up the conversation, what's your word to young folks? Because there's a bunch of young dudes, young, of course, young men and women who listen to this show.
Yes.
What is your word to them as we, we approach 2027? Of course, the conversation in the country is very political right now. Guys on campaign mode, but pia nimesikia, most young folks are not registering to vote.
Yes.
Unfortunately. So, very briefly, what's your word to young Kenyans?
I'm not going to encourage my fellow young Kenyans. We are all in this together. If you are not going to change, nothing is going to change.
Yeah.
But I'm here to advise you or to encourage you.
Yeah.
You cannot take people to power by don't love a politician, don't love an upcoming leader whom you want to see make changes. You can only love them. It doesn't prove a point or make a point. You love me and you don't have a vote. As a politician who is eyeing an office, my relationship between me and you, for me to get there, you must first be a registered voter, then you can take me there, then you can hold me accountable. You cannot walk into a public participation event without an ID. What are you going to vent there? You are going to vent your frustrations. Young people, if you are not going to change, things are going to change, not for the good, but for the worst. Chaguo ni lenyu mufanye venye mnataka. Nimesema.
I love it. Kiragu, you run a very awesome foundation. It's called Vijana
Mbele Foundation.
Vijana Mbele Foundation. but Vijanas, apparently you guys were not registering as voters. You're saying the conversation right now is rife in the sense that Kenyans, we're engaging in in conversations and engagements, but it's not reflecting when it comes to voter registration. What is your word to youth who are listening to you?
The problem, Kev, with young people is that we have something we call the duality of belonging. You're here, you're there, you're sitting on the fence, but you're still saying that you're stuck to the core and to the motive. And what I want to tell young people is that let us stay guided to the gains and look for the gains of a revolution that we started back in 2024. We are looking for an economic revolution. We are looking for good governance, accountability, youthful leadership, and also transparency. Don't let distrust lead you to withdraw in terms of voting. And it starts with the universal suffrage, the right to vote. I mean, IBC estimates that by 2027, I think maybe 18 million young people will have reached the age of 18 years, so they're eligible to vote. So, and looking at the statistics, young people have not come out to vote. There is basically, and there is evidently, voter apathy among us young people. Why is this? I see it as an issue of distrust. Young people do not trust the institutions.
Sure.
Secondly, I think the path to the polling station is way too long for a young person. These people have not made this process accommodative for young people. A person must take a matatu to a constituency office to go register as a voter.
Sure.
I mean, I'm a young person. I'm looking for basic money to survive, food, shelter, and water. Should I go use that 200 bob to go register as a voter? No. I'll go first look for something to eat, then I disengage from political engagement.
It's true,
so I think the institutions that we have in the electoral process, they should speak the language of young people, be more accommodative.
And even the IBC has got billions in their budget that they're supposed to use to educate young people and even to who them to vote. I mean, IBC today sits on billions of money. You look at the people they are sending to the field for, civic education. These are not people who are telling with young people. Instead of giving my brother here the job to come here and speak about voter registration, they give him something at the end of the day. The IBC will only sit on it. I mean, they are from their comfort zone and give you some funny statistics. Young people are going to... I have even asked IBC commissioner, sorry for cutting you short, I once tasked them to a scientific explanation on how they arrived to their data, and they told me, bro, time is not on our side. We were in some hotel. I asked the commissioner, but I am a young person, I have been in this space. I hear you and see you people bringing a lot of statistical data. Now, explain to me, then I tell you why you are wrong. They told me, it is not about that today. So that speaks to institutional failures. What he has spoken about, trust. I mean, when you invest, you expect returns. When I vote a leader, I expect performance. The leader is being braggadocious, full of themselves, telling you are either one term. Imagine a parliament of all singing 2 term.
As we wrap up, Kiragu, finally, you're going to say?
I want young people to remain guided. Let us ensure that, we started a revolution in 2024 through digital activism. I mean, and we identified as tribeless, partyless, leaderless. Let us sustain the momentum. Let us continue coming out. I've seen and I've engaged with a lot of young people who want to vie for seats, political. And I tell them, vying for positions is not all about posters. It's about impact. Are you creating impact in the society? So let us keep the momentum on straight ahead to 2027. And I'm looking forward and I'm optimistic enough that 2027 will be a youthful government.
Nice.
Populace.
So what's your social media handle?
My social media handles on Instagram is Kirago Mureithi _ Twitter, Kirago_job.
Yes, nice.
Facebook, I go by the name Job Kirago Mureithi.
Good stuff.
I'm on Facebook, I'm Kennedy Sankara. On X, I'm Kennedy _Sankara. And on Instagram, I'm Kennedy _OC. or Chieng.
Sankara, I heard you're going to be on the ballot. It's true.
A lot of things will weigh in. We don't want to make people happy. We just spoke about it.
I know.
It is about how much do you have. At the end of the day, they will tell you it's true to make us and so they have to eat.
Sasa, thanks guys. Thanks for coming through. That was Culture Kitchen with some amazing brothers over here, Kiragu Mureithi, and of course the one and only Kennedy Sankara. It's been real, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We meet next time.
For real. Sure. 8:30 right now. We're keeping it moving. Alafu, when we come back, conversations for days. I've got some Africa Must Wake Up. This is Nas, Damian Marley, and Kanan. Tudikazi.
102.5 SpiceFM.